1. Silence builds inner power, not weakness. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. The most powerful transformations happen in silence. Growth, healing, discipline. These are not loud processes. When you stay quiet, you conserve your energy and amplify your control. People don't need to know what you're working on. Let your results speak. 2. Your attention is your currency. Spend it on yourself every time you focus on others. Comparing, gossiping, reacting. You waste energy that should be invested in your own evolution. Self-focus is not selfish, it's strategic. Reclaim your attention, build your skills, upgrade your mindset, make yourself the center of your energy economy. 3. Validation is a trap. Silence breaks the cycle. You don't need applause to be great. Seeking approval chains you to mediocrity. Silence allows you to detach from needing recognition. True confidence doesn't broadcast. It builds quietly and shows up fully formed when the world least expects it. 4. Discipline grows in quiet, not chaos. Silence isn't just a lack of noise. It's a choice to protect your space. When you eliminate distractions and step away from constant noise, you begin to hear your inner compass. That's where consistency, habit change, and real self-discipline are forged. You can't grow in chaos. You need stillness. 5. Talk less, do more. Results are the loudest voice in a world full of noise and empty words. Action is rare and respected. Instead of announcing your goals, execute them. Every word you say should be backed by something you've already done. Let your growth be noticed, not narrated. That's where your power becomes undeniable. 6. Your energy is sacred. Protect it with silence. You don't need to engage with every opinion, argument, or trend. Protecting your peace is a full-time job. The more you focus on yourself, the less you need from the world. And when your energy is clean and undisturbed, your vision becomes razor sharp. That's when you become unstoppable. You know, there's a strange belief that if you're quiet, you're weak. That if you're not constantly broadcasting your thoughts or announcing every move, then you must not have much going on. But in reality, silence is often the strongest form of self-control. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you're not running from the world. You're turning inward to build something unshakable. Real growth doesn't make noise. Muscles don't grow while you're talking about working out. Mental toughness doesn't develop while you're debating your limits. Healing doesn't happen when you're explaining your pain to people who don't understand it. All of those powerful internal shifts, discipline, clarity, peace, they take place in the quiet. Silence gives you space, and in that space, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. You begin to separate your real priorities from distractions. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation that tries to trigger you. That's not weakness, that's emotional intelligence, that's strength. People will always try to pull you into their noise. They'll ask questions, stir drama, seek your opinions, not because they care, but because they want access to your energy. And every time you explain yourself, justify your decisions, or overshare your progress, you're giving away something sacred. Staying silent doesn't mean shutting down. It means becoming selective. It means mastering the difference between what demands your voice and what deserves your silence. When you're building something meaningful, your mindset, your body, your business, your life, you don't owe anyone a play-by-play. You don't need to seek understanding from people who aren't doing the work themselves. Let your growth confuse them. Let your discipline speak louder than your words ever could. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Where you place it determines the quality of your life. And the truth is, most people are broke, not financially, but mentally, because they spend all their attention on things that don't matter. They scroll through other people's lives, worry about opinions that hold no weight, and invest time in conversations that add nothing to their growth. Every time you give your focus to distractions, you're robbing yourself of the energy you could be using to build something real, something that belongs to you. Focusing on yourself isn't about being self-centered, it's about being self-aware. You need to know where your time is going, who's getting your energy, and what thoughts are filling your mind. If it's not building you, it's breaking you. You can't afford to keep pouring into things that leave you empty. Every minute spent comparing your journey to someone else's is a minute stolen from your progress. every argument, every gossip session, every mindless distraction. It all comes at a cost, and the price is your potential. When you truly begin to focus inward, something shifts. You become more intentional. You start choosing your actions instead of reacting to everything around you. You stop chasing approval because you're too busy chasing growth. You begin to protect your mental bandwidth like it's gold, because it is. This is how you get ahead quietly. This is how you outgrow the noise without ever needing to address it. People may not understand what you're doing at first. They'll wonder why you've gone silent, why you're distant, why you're not engaging like you used to. But that's okay. They don't need to understand. They don't need to get it. Because when you're focused, you don't need permission to level up. You don't need applause. You just need vision, consistency, and the discipline to block out everything that doesn't align with where you're going. Validation is a trap that too many people fall into without even realizing it. The moment you start needing others to agree with your path, to clap for your efforts, to tell you you're doing well, you give them control over your direction. And that's dangerous. Because the truth is, most people won't understand your journey, especially when it doesn't fit into their idea of who you used to be. When you rely on applause to feel worthy, you'll find yourself constantly performing, constantly chasing attention, and constantly drained. Silence breaks that cycle. When you choose to move quietly, to build privately, you begin to detach from the need for recognition. You realize that you're not here to impress anyone. You're here to evolve. And evolution isn't always pretty or noticeable. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's messy, but when it's real, it doesn't need validation. It becomes self-sustaining. You begin to trust your inner compass instead of waiting for someone else to tell you that you're on the right track. It's not about shutting the world out completely. It's about no longer depending on it to feel good about yourself. When you stop sharing every win just to be seen, and instead keep working in silence, your relationship with growth changes. You stop performing and start transforming. You stop proving and start improving. That shift might feel lonely at first, but it's necessary, because the moment you detach from needing praise, you start building for something deeper, for peace, for mastery, for legacy. And the people who once needed to hear every detail of your progress, they'll notice the change without you saying a word. They'll feel the difference when you walk into a room. That quiet confidence, that self-built foundation, it speaks volumes. You don't have to announce who you're becoming. Let your actions do that for you. Let your discipline echo louder than words ever could. When you strip away the noise, you begin to see where your true power lies. Discipline doesn't thrive in chaos. It grows in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Every habit you build, every commitment you honor, happens in those in-between spaces. Before dawn when the world is still asleep, during a run when your breath is the only soundtrack, in the pause before you reach for your phone. That's where consistency is born, not under the bright lights of approval or amid the buzz of social validation. Most people mistake busyness for progress. They fill their days with meetings, notifications, and empty tasks, believing that motion equals momentum. But true momentum comes when you remove everything unnecessary and give your full attention to the process. You wake up, you do the work, you go back to sleep, and you repeat. No fanfare, no play updates. Just you, your goals, and the silent commitment to show up again tomorrow. Over time, that simple repetition compounds into something extraordinary. Chaos is persuasive. It will tell you that you need to be everywhere at once, that you should respond instantly, that you're not doing enough unless you're constantly visible. But that whisper of urgency is a lie. Silence gives you clarity. It lets you hear the gentle tug of your ambitions, the steady rhythm of progress beneath the surface. When distractions are stripped away, you start to notice the subtle shifts in your performance, the small breakthroughs that no one else sees but you. Those are the moments you build on. You don't become disciplined because you shouted your goals at the world. You become disciplined because you kept your promise to yourself when no one was paying attention. You resisted the urge to check your phone during a work block. You chose the harder path of one more set, one more page, one more minute of meditation. You made the silent choice every day to honor your objectives over fleeting comforts. Over time, This quiet accumulation of effort separates you from the crowd. While others chase the next hit of dopamine, you're transforming from the inside out. Your habits become your identity, and your identity becomes unshakable. When the inevitable challenges arise, stress, doubt, external pressure, you have a reservoir of discipline to draw from, forged in stillness, tested in solitude. There's something powerful about doing the work without announcing it. In a world where everyone is quick to talk about their goals, their plans, their future, you stand out simply by keeping quiet and taking action. Talk is easy. It costs nothing to say what you're going to do. But results, they require sacrifice. They require consistency, discipline, and time. That's why the ones who are truly growing don't always have time to talk about it. They're too busy living it. When you stop explaining and start executing, you redirect all that energy toward progress. Instead of posting every move or explaining every decision, you simply do the work. You get up early, you train, you study, you build, you fail, you learn, and you repeat over and over. You stop caring about being seen and start caring about becoming effective. And the moment you do that, you stop needing to prove yourself. There's a reason the quiet ones are often underestimated. People assume that if you're not loud about your growth, you must not be growing. Let them believe that, let them misjudge you, let them think you're not doing enough, because eventually your results will show up in a way that no words ever could. They'll see it in your health, in your work, in your peace, in your strength. That's the power of silent execution. It carries weight that no performance can match. Every time you choose action over explanation, you reinforce trust in yourself. You learn to move with purpose, not to impress but to improve. You stop reacting to doubt and start responding with proof. And it's not about one big moment. It's about the quiet accumulation of wins that no one claps for. The mornings you pushed through, the evenings you stayed focused, the days you didn't quit. Over time, your discipline builds momentum, your momentum builds results, and those results begin to speak, loudly, without needing you to say a word. While others are still talking about what they might do, you're living the outcome of what you already did. Your energy is sacred. It's the core fuel behind everything you do, your decisions, your mood, your focus, your growth. And yet, most people give it away so easily. They get pulled into arguments that don't matter, respond to opinions that don't deserve attention, and drain themselves by trying to fix or prove something to people who don't even value the effort. That's the cost of being reactive instead of intentional. The more you engage with everything around you, the less energy you have left for what actually matters. Your own growth, your own goals, your own peace. Silence is your shield. It's not just about not speaking. It's about not responding, not reacting, not giving people more access to you than they've earned. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you're not ignoring the world, you're protecting your world. You're filtering out the noise so you can tune in to what truly deserves your energy, because not everything does. Not every comment, not every demand, not every situation requires your presence. Some things are best left unanswered, and your silence becomes the response. As you start to protect your energy, you begin to feel different, clearer, sharper, less scattered. You begin to notice how much lighter you feel when you're not constantly pulled in different directions. You become more aware of what drains you and what fuels you. You learn to say no, not out of anger, but out of alignment. You stop needing to explain your boundaries because your life starts reflecting them without words. When you conserve your energy and stay grounded in your own space, you give yourself room to grow. You start becoming more efficient with your time, more selective with your connections, and more focused with your goals. You stop moving for the sake of movement and start moving with purpose. That's how you make real progress, not by scattering your energy everywhere, but by channeling it inward and letting it build something solid, something real. So choose wisely. Guard your energy like it's your life, because it is. And when you do, you'll start to feel just how powerful you were always meant to be.